A bunch of you have been asking for a tour of the new studio as it is right now, and I think the last day of the year is a pretty good day to do this, so we can kind of do it every year and have a record of the evolution of my space. So, welcome to the iCave. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell. First of all, this is probably the smallest room in my house. It is basically the boiler room, which is why sometimes you can hear it in the background. It just goes off randomly, which is quite annoying when you're trying to film stuff and trying to get the audio to sound right, but this is the space that I have. There used to be a door over here. This is where the iCave door that we used to have at the back of the studio was. That door is now in my shed, and we've opened up a new door, which is just behind where you're watching from. There's a little bit of a lighting change in this video, so hopefully it looks kind of cool. I wanted to get something a bit more dynamic. It was very kind of straight on, in front of my face lighting before. Now I think it's a little bit more funky cool. I'm hoping you like it too. We do have a couple of lights that are on me right now, so there is a purple over this side, which you can kind of see if I do this, which lights up a bit of the backdrop, and then there's a warm kind of orangey, like a warm white over this side. And then my microphone is sitting here. This is the blue Snowball. We've moved back to using the blue Snowball just recently because the lav mic that I was using, it sounded a bit flat, and then it started to sound like I was underwater, which I wasn't that keen on. I am looking at upgrading sound possibly in the coming year. Probably looking at like an SM58, something like that, which I can then use for my other new hobby, which is comedy. But the actual setup in general has not changed massively over the past few years. We have Project 91 over here, which is my Mac Mini inside a 1991 Macintosh Classic 2. That powers my desktop, which includes this display over here, which is a 40-inch JVC 4K TV. That gives me basically 4 monitors worth of display space, basically at a usable 20-inch per display size, which is quite usable. It gives me a lot of space to work on, but it also means I can use it as a single display. I can watch movies on it, I can edit my videos quite nicely on there, and then sound-wise we have the Harman Kardon SoundSticks. Now these were designed with Harman Kardon and Johnny Ive, Apple's iconic designer, back in the late 90s, I believe, maybe the early 2000s. They still sound fantastic. The subwoofer is attached under my desk, and we'll talk about the desk a little bit more in a moment. In terms of keyboard and mouse setup, magnetic keyboard that I reviewed a little while ago, I really like it. I didn't like it that much when I first started using it, but it's really grown on me. It's very smooth. There's no physical click. You hear a click, but there's no physical click. The keycaps have got really nice travel, and it all lights up nicely. I have it quite subtle nowadays. It's just kind of blue background glow, but you can have it with rainbow illuminations and all sorts of patterns going on. I quite like it. Then I use Apple's Magic Trackpad 2, which is the one with the force click response, and also the Apple Magic Mouse, but it's the original one that uses the rechargeable batteries. That's what I use in it, rather than it's not a lightning charging one where you plug it in the bottom. This one just uses a couple of rechargeable batteries, so I keep a couple on charge and a couple in the mouse, so I can just switch them out, and it's fine. I don't find it uncomfortable at all. But I do have another mouse plugged in, which is just a very cheap generic gaming mouse, which I spray painted to match Project 91, so it is that nice beige, but it's got some backlighting in it. And the reason that I have that, it's a wired kind of scrolly mouse. The Apple Magic Mouse absolutely sucks for any kind of games. You can't do 2 different clicks at the same time. It's very difficult to kind of hold the scroll wheel, because there isn't one. So for those modifiers that you need for gaming, that's why I keep that handy. Above my monitor, and I have it turned off while I'm filming, because if I turn it on, you get a kind of weird glow from underneath me, is the BenQ Screen Bar Plus. And that gives me a lovely glow on the desk, so I don't have to have any other lighting on in here apart from my sort of little mood lights that I have in the background. But it just gives me a nice glow on the desk without eye strain and all that sort of stuff. Having good lighting in your space is really, really important, and my lighting is always changing because I need different lighting for filming to general work and the rest of it. So yeah, there we go. And the BenQ Screen Bar, we have got one to give away in the new year, so make sure you subscribe. I've also got a Pico 4 VR headset, also brand new inbox, ready to give away. So there's some good stuff coming in the new year. So beyond that, I have my iPad mount over here, which is from XLayout. It's really nice. springy, top and bottom, so this keeps it nice and secure. My only slight annoyance with this is that if you have an Apple Pencil attached, you know, you can't put it in here. So what I'd really love is if these jaws were big enough to hold it in portrait mode as well. But being able to kind of keep your iPad on the side, especially if you use things like Sidecar or you use Universal Control with your Mac, really useful to keep it off your desk. Keeps a little bit more space on the desk itself, and that's something that I've really been enjoying. And actually, my son stole it. It's been in my son's room for the last month or so because he uses it while he's in bed, so it just holds his iPad while he watches some stuff while he goes to sleep. On the desk itself, I've got my original MagSafe charger. This is just the OG. This is actually charging my work phone at the moment, and underneath my work phone is my morning pages notebook. So I've got into stand-up comedy a little bit recently. I've got another gig coming up in the next few days, and in the mornings I just like to write for half an hour or so just to get ideas out. None of it's very good, but it just gives you a way of kind of recording those thoughts, and then you can kind of circle or highlight any that you think might actually have some potential, but it gives you a little bit of a background of the stuff that you've been thinking in the past, and I think that's really useful. I'm not a journaling person. I don't do kind of diaries. Even with Apple's new journal app, I've not got into it yet. Maybe I will. Let me know if you have too. So the desk itself that everything is built upon is the Flexi Spot. I basically used this when we first redid the office, when we went to the kind of lighter colours. We've gone back to darker colours again now, so this is iCave version 3, I guess. But this thing is incredible. It's a sit-stand desk. The motors on it are so powerful because I attach a lot of stuff to this. My cable management isn't quite where I'd like it to be, but we have got the TV, which is my main monitor, is mounted on a screen display arm, like a VESA mount, and then we've got the Project 91 Mac over here. Got the OBSBot sitting on top of it, which is a AI-powered gimbal mounted camera, which is 4K, and you can actually use that to do any sort of conference calls, FaceTime, all the rest of it. It gives really good visuals, and it will keep up with you if you move around a little bit. It will actually follow you and give really nice, really crisp images. It's not the best in terms of dynamic range, but it looks really professional, and it confuses people so much when your display, like your camera, follows you around when you're on a Zoom call or something like that. And then over the other side of the room we have my original 27-inch. That is going to be upgraded a little bit. It's not going to be faster, but it's going to have 4 different operating systems on it for Project Quadra. That's going to have Windows 10. It's going to have Mac OS, hopefully Sonoma, using OpenCore. It's going to have a 32-bit version of Mac OS on there as well for games, and also a Linux install, possibly actually Steam machine. If I can get that working, that'll be really fun. So that's going to be my kind of retro gaming machine. And then on the floor down here I have yet another iMac, another 27-inch, but this is a slightly earlier 2011, so it's a bit chunkier. It's got the DVD drive, and that was my dad's, and that one we should be able to replace the CPU, so a little bit more of an involved video where we can open the whole thing up and possibly upgrade quite a bit in there. I want to see how fast you can make the last sort of upgradable iMac. See what we can do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments for if you're interested in seeing that. And then over this side I have a whole bunch of drawers which came from my kids' rooms when they refurbished those, and these contain cables, old review products, all that sort of stuff, and it just keeps things tidy. I've added a little desk over here, and this one is currently covered in birthday presents because my birthday today. When I'm filming this, my birthday was tomorrow, but now it's today. So feel free to give me a little subscribe for my birthday. And right in front of me, where we're talking to you from now, is my teleprompter. So this is a little $40 thing. It's got a piece of glass which basically reflects from a second iPhone up onto the glass so that I can read my script, which I'm not doing right now. This is all off the cuff because my second iPhone is over here. But this is what I mount my phone in to film all of this. Everything that you see on this channel is filmed on iPhone. I don't have other cameras other than OBSBot, which is, I think it's the right thing to do for a channel like this. It feels like a good thing. But if there's anything about my process, about my setup, that you would like to know more about, do let me know down in the comments. and we'll give you a more in-depth tour. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the Patreons for making everything possible. Happy New Year to you. It is New Year's Eve, and we will see you in the next one. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell.